Hi, I'm Patricia Greenberg, and this is It's Okay to Be Old. My guest today is Tom Kutrosky, and he has made headlines lately, national headlines, for his incredible story of being a late in life competitive stair climber. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Tom, this story is near and dear to me because after a very, very long running career, I stumbled upon the sport of tower climbing and I fell in love with it instantly. And for the audience's benefit, I'll explain what this crazy sport entails. And Tom, jump in if you want. There's a worldwide recognition of the sport of tower climbing that has exploded in recent years. And these races are generally put on by charitable organizations that partner with buildings willing to host these run ups. They're anywhere from 10 stories to 110 stories. And races are held at local hotels on the beach, all the way up to the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center, Hancock Tower in Chicago, US Bank Building in LA, and sports stadiums nationwide. So, Tom can jump in about that as well. So, Tom, let's start out by you telling us how you got started in tower climbing and how old were you when you came to it?
I was 75. That was in 2010. And I was running 10Ks and 5Ks. And I saw an announcement about YMCA putting on a climb at I guess it was US Bank. And I
Mhm.
said, that sounds interesting. And I did it the first time. And it just was so exciting to do that. And there were probably about 500, maybe 1,000 people.
Wow, that's a big turnout.
Yeah. And that was really exciting for me. And I said, you know what? I can run up the stairs in maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. I don't have to do a 5K or a 10K for an hour. This is great.
And
And
I want to ask you, how did your doctors react to you doing this at the age you were at the time? Because now it's 15 years ago.
well, that's interesting because I've been in preventative medicine. And in 2002, I moved from Los Angeles to Ventura, and I found a cardiologist, and I wanted to check him, have him check me because my family on my father's side all died before they were 55 or
Ooh.
60. Not good. On my mother's side, they lived to 90. So I've been in preventative medicine, and he checked me over, and I was good. He did put me on Lipitor,
Mhm.
and I didn't like it because it affects your muscles. So I went into and took red yeast rice.
Okay.
Can't say that real fast. And after a year, I had a visit with the cardiologist, and he says, "You're doing really good. Keep it up." And I said, "Well, doctor, I got to tell you, I'm not taking Lipitor anymore. I'm taking red yeast rice." He says, "That's great. You keep that up." So that's
I'm
what I,
gonna I'm gonna follow up with that. That's fantastic.
yeah,
That's
yes, that
absolutely
is.
fantastic. And
And
yeah, and so did you at the time, because I want to talk about the trajectory that you're still doing it. It's amazing. At the time, did you feel that stair climbing gave you enough fitness?
oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yeah. If you run up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 steps. That is really exhilarating. And that was the other thing. When I was practicing for 5Ks, I would do hills.
Yeah.
And this is very similar to hills. So in my practices, if I can't find a place to run upstairs, I'll go over here in Ventura and there's a street. Not quite a mile straight up.
Mm,
That is exhilarating.
that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And we so then I'm going to ask you that about what do you do specifically to train for these climbs? Do you train specifically for a climb, or you just keep yourself stair climbing throughout the year?
Well, throughout the year, I'm on a routine. I do yoga once a day. I do Pilates once a day. I do high intensity once a day. That's what I did this morning. I did do what they call sculpture, weightlifting, and I do weightlifting.
Mhm.
And each day I do that. Now, if I'm going to have a race or a climb, which is coming up, I'll do probably hill climbing. This will help me out. So I'll just add that to it.
Yeah. Sounds exactly like my routine. I do yoga twice a week. I do weight training 3 days a week. I walk whenever I can. And Tom, tell me if you do this. Today I did it. I had a doctor's appointment, just a routine checkup, and I parked my car and I ran up the 6 flights of stairs to the doctor's office. Wasn't going to wait for the elevator. So anti-elevator. But do you see an opportunity to work out every time there's a stairwell
Yes,
in front of
yes,
you, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Universal Studios a couple times, and I take the stairs up.
Good for you. Good for you. And the kids are all taking elevators and escalators, right? We need to get them back onto the stairwell or the
Yeah.
staircase. Tom, how do you choose what races to participate in at this point? Because I know it's a lot of time, money, and travel to go do the big races across the country and across the world.
Uh, yeah, and what's available to me and what year it is, and I've been to Chicago, and that was cold. That
Mm,
was in, I think it was in October or November.
okay.
It was windy. They call that the Windy City. That
Mhm,
was
mhm.
windy, but that I don't mind that. That's just when you're outside and you're inside climbing. That's something else. Now, one of the climbs, the Seattle. I remember that one. The first three floors were breeze, and then all of a sudden we're on the outside, and the wind is blowing, and it's 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's pretty cold.
And there's no barriers on that for the
No,
audience
no. Well,
benefit. It's the Seattle Space
there's
Needle.
a little
Yeah.
barrier, but not enough.
Interesting to know because I'm signed up for that one also. It's September
Yeah,
28th, I think. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Tom, we know, and we're going to get to that a little bit about your background. You're a doctor of optometry, so you have a lot of information, both personally and professionally, about wellness and about health. And we know now that the magic bullet for healthy aging is movement. You were way ahead of this curve, obviously, and it's paid off so well. So, how did fitness play a role in your early life? Because I know this isn't something you just took up late in life.
Well, no. In high school, I played football. I played well, I ran track and I played basketball. In college, I went out for the football team and I got cut, and I was really upset about that. But Woody Hayes from Ohio State was the head coach, and I was not good enough.
No.
I believe that now today, and I shouldn't be mad at him. But I did play lacrosse, and lacrosse was a sport I really enjoyed. And I played it for 4 years there, and I was lucky to get All-American honors. And after that, I went into the Air Force, didn't do much there for 3 years. But then when I got out, there were what they call club lacrosse teams in cities like Los Angeles, and that's where I was living. So we played for, well, I played probably for another 10 years, and then I retired. Didn't do much of anything. In 1975, I was going through a real tough time in my life because I was buying an off building next door to me and putting it together in my practice, and it just did a toll on me. And I couldn't bend down and touch my toes, and I had backache, and I didn't do anything for a year. Then I got into yoga, and gradually I start running 100 yards. A couple of weeks later, 200 yards, and I kept on going. So there I was doing 5Ks, 10Ks, and I did a couple half marathons until and including when I saw this ad in 2010 when I climbed the U.S. Bank building. And I still did a little bit of 5Ks at that time for a while. But I'm really now just into climbing stairs,
Yeah, yeah,
wherever they're at.
yeah. That's amazing. And so you attribute a lot of your longevity wellness to yoga.
Yes, yoga is very flexible, makes me very flexible. And also, in around 2000, I started Pilates with the machines, and that is really good too. So between those two and getting a massage every now and then, it really has made my body much more flexible.
It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I do know that I laugh because I was not anti-yoga, but I was like, I didn't have the patience for it. Now I can't live without it. So I can attest to that also. As I always make my shows a little bit of a public service announcement where I tell everybody if you can't do an extraordinary feat like climb a building or run a 5K, you can still get out for 10 or 15 minutes every day and do something, right? This
Oh
is,
yeah,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
It's that a little bit helps. Tom, you turned 90 in January. That's Mazel Tov. Congratulations. I can't say enough about that. Is such a wonderful milestone. And you celebrated it by going with your grandchildren to ride roller coasters at Universal Studios. So my question, are you always this daring? I'm terrified of roller coasters and things. Do you have a daredevil gene in you?
Oh, I don't know about that, but when I turned 80, I I got my grandkids together and my kids, and we went and did paintball.
Ah, wow.
And that was fun.
Yeah,
So I try and do something that keeps the kids together
yeah,
and we're all working together.
yeah.
So that was fun.
That's fantastic.
So now when I'm 100, I'm still thinking about that, what I'm going to be doing.
100th birthday.
It,
Yeah,
it,
that's
it
gonna
won't be parachuting, that's for
okay.
sure.
Okay. I was gonna ask if that was on the agenda.
No.
So at 90, you still work as an optometrist a few days a month.
I work, the offices work on Sunday and I work every other Sunday. It's for 4 hours
Okay.
and it's, I enjoy it. I have to meet people. I have to be around people. And also the employees there are much, much younger than me and it keeps me going.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
I
Um,
hope to hear that they appreciate having you there too.
oh yes, yes, yes. And, I'm going to tell you about longevity because when I was around 25, 30, I start thinking about my life ahead. And my father died when he was 63.
Mm.
So it got me to trying to eat properly. Yoga at that time was something weird people did yoga,
Yes, yes,
you
yeah.
know. So I became a weird person, but that was in around 1975. So, but I went to a lecture once on longevity, and they asked the people who lived over 100 years old what they did to do that. How did they accomplish that? And one of the things is they all had breakfast. They all met with people. Some of them went to church, some of them didn't, but they all socialized. Uh, they all had a routine, and they were all of them also were on the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, yeah.
And there were 12 of them. I only remember 4 or 5, but that's what I try and do to keep going. And I set a goal, and this is I think is important. You set a goal, and I'm going to stay with it. You know, like this morning, I got up and I said, I don't think I want to, I'm having this 12 o'clock Zoom. Maybe I shouldn't go out to the YMCA and work out. No, I went.
Yeah, yeah.
I and I try and stay with that.
Good for you. I thought the same thing too today. I have a 12 o'clock. So what can I do? So I walked the dog and I went out and did a little bit of movement, and I'm going to do some more this afternoon. So you're absolutely right, is that self motivation to, I want to ask you something that we kind of didn't discuss in the beginning of the Q&A, but as an optometrist, do you see um, does is declining vision inevitable with age, or is that something that we can stave off with healthy habits? What's your take on that?
Well, declining vision will happen uh, to people after 40.
Hmm.
And there's not much we can do about that. Right now, we can do surgery, we can do drugs. But the other main thing that's going on now is myopia. Myopia is nearsightedness, can't see
Yeah.
far away.
Okay.
And the new thing now is if you can, and part of it is due to heredity, and part of it is due to kids reading, looking close, and not being outside. So the theory now is limit your reading for a child and make sure they get out and ride their bike and enjoy and hike. It
Right.
can help out.
Yeah, it's
So,
getting out in nature that people are losing their sense of that. Yes,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. And that is the what we're finding in the science of longevity. Nature, Mother Nature is the best cure, just not just sunlight for vitamin D, but being out, and it enhances every aspect of your life, that there's so much to just taking a walk on a tree-lined street, right?
right.
Don't have to go that far to even find it. Just go to a local park or somewhere, take a ride down to the beach, take the family out. I couldn't agree with you more about getting your head off the electronics and so forth. Um, and it just sounds like your days are full of purpose, which is amazing. Um, Tom, what do you like to do for intellectual stimulation? Because I know that's a big key element in aging well, is also.
I like to go to movies. I like old movies,
Mhm.
and that's. In fact, I've been watching some silent movies, and they are very intriguing,
Mhm.
and the things that they could do, and you have to think and say, well, that's what he's saying. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yes, you have to be engaged with
hmm.
that. Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
there is something else. I want to live to be 100 or more, but I want a good health.
Yes.
And so I'm working on that. And that's why I try and eat healthy. But one of the problems I'm having is I'm not getting enough mental stimulation. And I do not like crossword puzzles.
Oh.
So I saw something on TV where older people are into Xbox
Right, right. Because
because
it's
it's
eye-hand
hand-eye
coordination.
coordination.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I met with someone yesterday, and he said, "Well, you don't have to do that. There, you can get on a computer, and I used to be a pilot, and you can pilot a plane, and I'm going to do that because I
That's
got to
fantastic.
get this going."
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you drive,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and would you
I
feel comfortable flying an airplane?
not at my age, no, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
But driving, I bought a Tesla, and I bought it because you've got to be into computers and you've got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So it forces you to think and to learn and to be on
so
top of it.
it's a
Um,
learning process because every couple of months they change the software and you got to start all over again.
do they give you a warning, or you just get in the car and it's all new again?
So it's all, well, they give you a warning they're going to have a software change, but that's about it.
Tom, I really like to hear about, and I don't mean this to be a trick question or a surprise question, but what in your lifetime was the most extraordinary thing that you've seen?
Uh, I would say the end of World War II, 1946. I lived in Detroit, Michigan, on a very, very busy street, and we had a building downstairs, which was we sold paint and linoleum, and upstairs was our resident.
Okay.
Now, on that day when they declared the war was over, people got on that street and just walked around and they were jumping and climbing, and it was just, and I was only maybe 11 or 12 years old to absorb that. And I actually, towards to be in World War II, my parents, my mother and father were there. My father couldn't serve because he was too old, but they had rationing, and people were together and fighting for this country. So that was remarkable. I saw that once again when we had the Olympics in 1984.
Yeah.
Everybody got together. I went out for the torch run. Yeah,
It's amazing. See, these are milestones that we need to keep sharing with younger people. It's something that I feel so strongly about. So you also, due to your age, you served in the Air Force, but you did not serve during wartime.
it was. I was lucky. My father was lucky. He missed World War One because he was too young. World War Two, he was too old.
Mhm.
I got in, and I missed Korea because I was too young. And then I got out just before Vietnam. I
Okay.
was in the Air Force for 3 years. Uh, I didn't like it, but I should have liked it because it was a very good life.
Yeah.
It was easy. And to make it even better, I was in a flight surgeon's office, and the flight surgeons have to fly 4 hours a month. So I got to sit in the back seat of a jet and fly or be flown.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went to Hawaii a couple times. It was a good life.
I want to ask you also what you think of the evolution of technology, because you're from a generation where you remember life before television.
Right. Yes. We had radio,
And
and
here we are, I can watch a movie on my watch now.
we had Dick Tracy in the
Yeah.
comics, and he had a watch like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Technology has really changed, and that's probably why I'm still working because I don't have to get up and go over to the patient. I'm sitting there with my computer and I'm doing all the work. So it's much easier, much faster, and it's much more efficient. We have instruments now that I can put in and get an input, and I know what your prescription is. Uh, it's about 15 years ago, I joined. I was working for Lens Crafters, which is a big company, and they have a program where they collect old glasses, recycle them, and then we go to various countries and United States. And we went to South Africa and we were there for 2 weeks. We examined 10,000 people and gave them 10,000 pair of glasses. And I remember one person that he had cataract surgery. And at that time, they take the lens out of the eye and they give you real thick glasses. They never gave him glasses, so he was walking around blind for 2 years.
Oh,
And I looked at him and I checked the prescription. I found one, I put it on him. He just about peed in his pants.
yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. So you took glasses with existing prescriptions and matched them up with the people that needed them. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, that
So
was
you
a
didn't even have to uh, send them out to be fixed or you
no, no,
did them
yeah.
right then and there. That's unbelievable.
And
Does
then
that
we
program still exist?
oh, yes, I went to San Diego a few years after that, and there was a little boy who was blind, and he was born premature, and at that time they had oxygen, and they had too much oxygen they were giving to these little kids, and that's why their retinas went blind.
Oof.
But he had just a little bit of vision. We checked him, we put a pair of glasses on him. He was going crazy, running around the whole hall, touching people, touching everything he could. It was, it made you cry.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure. That's amazing. So, for more information on that, do you know where people can go? Can they just go to lenscrafters.com and the program
They can
should be
check
on
that
there?
out, yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to also include that on the when we post the show, that link to that, because that's absolutely amazing. Tom, it's so delightful to chat with you. What's your go-to advice for people of all ages to stay motivated? Do you have a one-liner for us?
Uh, you just have to be dedicated and say, I'm going to do this, and I I don't want you to go crazy on it, and I don't want to be go crazy me. But every now and then I'll just say, okay, that's it. I got to take a little rest for a week or so.
Yeah.
That's okay. No
Yeah.
big deal. But you're going to go back to it.
The key is in the planning, right? Is to not just
Gives in a planning.
willy-nilly, but say plan it out a little bit and think about what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Hmm.
And there's walking, there's yoga, and Tai Chi is very good.
Yeah. Yeah. My brother's a Tai Chi master. He loves it. When we
Yes.
first used to see him doing that, and this is what I love telling people, is Stephen would do the moves and we'd be like, what kind of movement is that? If you actually take it on, it's an extraordinary practice. With yoga, I always thought yoga was boring and wasn't a workout. And then when I started, I'm like, this is amazing. Same with running. I tell people, you don't just wake up one day and run a marathon. There's a process that comes along with that. So you can look at something and think it's easy and look at something and think it's hard. But once you get started, you'll find your groove. Isn't it wonderful to fall in love with an exercise, right? To find something that you can fall in love with and want to get up and you can't wait to get to that class or to get outside to the park or to get to that stairwell and do the climb. Tom, tell me, what do you like about getting older?
Uh, Sometimes people, well, sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't, but if someone's gonna hold the door open for me and I can go first, uh, just discounts that we can get.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
That's it. Uh, I want to tell you one thing about climbing the stairs. I it, People may not know it, but they always ask me, "How does that work?" Well, usually it works that there's say there's 500 people going to climb the a building and it's 45 stories, whatever. Every 5 seconds or maybe 10 seconds, a person goes up. When they get to the top, they take the elevator down. That's what I like. Here in Ventura, we got a little problem because you have to walk down. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and I don't like the stadium climb
Okay.
because you're up and down, up and down. I did do the Coliseum, and that was 3,000 stairs. Yeah, that was tough. Uh,
I did that one twice and prior to my hip replacement, and I couldn't get up the final rake where that giant cement block was. I couldn't even climb that distance. So I've done a few stadium climbs. They became popular during the pandemic.
yeah,
But yeah, and again, I always tell everyone if you can just get in a couple of flights of stairs a day, whether it's in your house or when you go shopping or you go park the car, park one floor down and walk up. I really believe anybody can. It's 16 steps is one flight, two steps is 32. It's really not that hard,
right,
and the benefits are priceless, right? That's what I always
right.
tell people. Yeah. Tom, it has been so delightful to talk to you. I want to thank you so much for joining me here at It's Okay to Be Old. And I want to mention to everybody, which we'll also put up, is City of Ventura Fire Department is putting on this climb in honor of 9/11. It's a 9/11 remembrance. It's on September 7 in Ventura. And again, we'll post that link and I will see you there. I'm so excited that we're both going to
Yeah,
be
we'll
together
see.
in person. And so again, thank you for joining me here at It's Okay to Be Old. And I wish you so much success. Looking forward to seeing you in the stairwell in Ventura and hopefully in New York City at the Empire State Building.
I
Uh,
hope
and
so.
whatever climbs we have coming up, we'll keep in touch with you about that because it's exciting. And I want to thank all of you for listening to It's Okay to Be Old. You can subscribe to my channel, It's Okay to Be Old with Patricia Greenberg, for our engaging discussions about all things aging well. You can look for us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Insta. And to contact me directly, it's at www.patriciagreenberg.com. And Tom, again, thank you so, so much for being here.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.